Again, it's Lynn Livsey, and I'm here with Lisa.
Yep.
And today we're going over the difference between ghosts, spirits, poltergeist, aliens, and demons. And let's get started. So basically, people think all these things are one and the same. Now, how you know they're not one and the same? Because they have different names. If they was all one and the same, they would all have the same name. So that's one clue you know that they're not all the same. But let's get into let's start simple, and then we can get into the complicated. First, we can talk about, remember, I told you, going back, there is, we are made out of gross matter. Spirit creatures are made out of subtle matter. Okay. And everything in the physical world, in the physical universe, is made out of gross matter. So, this is where we are. We are physical beings, and when we die, well, we give up to ghosts. Our ghost is we have a semi-spirit body, which is not a full spirit body. Okay. And we'll get deeper into that lately. But spirit creatures are spirit creatures. They are subtle matter. They're different from us. And as we normally do, we go back to the beginning. Let's go all the way back. We left God, his left-hand side, as a speck of living energy. Our goal is to go to every form of life, every type of creation, and return to his right-hand side as a splitting image of him. This journey can take 1,000 years, 1,000,000 years, 1,000,000,000 years. It doesn't make any difference because to him, time do not exist. As long as you are moving forward. If you're moving, that means you are progressing. If you're not moving, that's called stagnation. If you're moving backwards, that's called damnation. Okay, you're supposed to be moving. And the pace in which you move is up to you. You can take the highway to hell or the highway to heaven, or you can take the slow road, the country road, whatever you're going. Some people are in a big rush to finish. Other people want to enjoy the trip. Okay, but we have climbed from, we did a show several months ago about the different, about the 12 known, dimensional levels that we know about. And we have climbed through several of them to get to where we are now. We went through pre-atomic life, atomic life. We went to molecular life, protein life. Then we went into insect life, crustacean life. Then we went into the animal life. And we're at the top of the animal life right now. The animal part is split into 3 parts. Sub-animals, animals, and super animals. And we're at the top. And we're at the end of physical creation. Once you leave here, you go to the 4th grade. You get to go to the next level. Not if you die, because we're locked in a house. Okay, and we're going to explain this house first. Where we came from is upstairs. Upstairs is very beautiful. We call it heaven. It is not. It's upstairs. When it was our time, we went into the dark tunnel and we ended up in our mother's tummy. At the end of our life, if you have light, the tunnel reopens and they beckon you to go back upstairs. If you don't have light, you're stuck in between with the worlds. And if you've been kind of bad, you can actually go down. Okay, and as is written 6,000 years ago, there's those 7 judges, those 7 Anunnaki judges down there, okay? And that's where you get in big trouble. And we're not going to go over that today, okay? We don't want to go down there. You don't want to talk to the Anunnaki judges. You really don't want to go there. So that is the thing. Now, once you finish here, you go to the next level. The next level above us is the angelic level, and there's several different levels. The level right above us is that you become either a worker angel or you become a guardian angel. And that is the level right above us, which is called the 4th grade. And there is no tunnel connecting us to them. The analogy, which I always talk in analogies, there is no connection between elementary school to high school, no connection between high school and college. You must be taken. And that's the reason at the end of some people's life, you say, oh, I know there was an angel waiting at their bed to take them. because the only way you're going to be taken to the fourth grade is you must be taken there. If you go into the tunnel, you're just going back upstairs, and you go over what you did right and wrong in your life, and you prepare for your next life if you're going to have one. We're doing good?
Yeah, we're good.
Excellent.
We're good.
Okay.
Just saying hi.
Excellent. So, but progression is a voluntary thing. So, when we die, the tunnel opens, and you see people in the tunnel calling you. And you know these people, but you do not know them. Because these are, see, most of us are born in a cluster. So, these are people who was your brother in another life, your sister in another life, your relatives that are deceased. You see these people and you know them, but you don't know them, and they're calling you to come upstairs because progression is a voluntary thing. Nobody is dragging you to go to college. No one is dragging you to do good things in life. You must progress on your own. Now, if you do not go into the tunnel, or if the tunnel do not open, then you're stuck between the two worlds. There's the world of the living and the world of the dead. If you're not, the world of the living and the world of the dead. If you're not in either one of those worlds, the spirit world or the world of our world, you're in neither world. This neither world is this gap in between the two worlds. And this is what some people call purgatory, or the world of twilight, or it goes by lots of different names. But it's this world that exists in between, and that is this ghost world. And ghosts are, the word ghost means wandering spirit. And what a ghost is supposed to do is they're supposed to wonder and think about what they did wrong in their life, and what they need to do to correct those problems. Because for the tunnel to open, which I'm not going to explain here, you have to have a light level of one or above. If you have a light level of -4 or below, they're going to drag you to see those 7 Anunnaki judges downstairs, and you're going to get locked up for a period of time. Okay. But if you do not go up or down, you're stuck in the middle. And a lot of people, for a lot of reasons, refuse to cross into the tunnel. For example, let's say a lady is traveling with her kids on the freeway, and there's a car accident. She dies, her kids live. She sees the tunnel opens, and they beckon her to come into the tunnel, but she doesn't want to leave her kids. She voluntarily stays behind, and she wants to watch over her kids while she's gone, which is considered noble, but there is a problem with this. Okay. And this is the problem with people who talk to ghosts. They will tell you about all of this. These ghosts have all these messages they want you to do, because now that she's dead and she's watching her kids cannot see her. And then her beautiful, wonderful daughter is now doing all kind of bad things, using drugs, dating that guy and whatever. And she needs somebody to go and tell her daughter to get rid of that guy and leave and do this or that. And okay, so if you talk to ghosts, and if you walk up to this lady and say, hey, your dead mother want me to tell you, there's nothing you can do. It's a total waste. If you try that, you're going to get arrested. Mm-hmm. You're going to be in big trouble. Okay. It's nothing you can do. That's the reason for dead people. There are some people who believe that you should talk to them and ration with them and try to help them. The only thing they need to do is cross over. Once you no longer exist in this world, you need to leave our world. You can't do anything. And her knocking things off her daughter's desk and getting mad over her daughter because what her daughter's doing, she has no power or no ability to change her daughter's life because she's dead. And this is the I do cleansings on houses, And as you saw when I went to the hotel, there I was just doing an investigation. Most of the time when I go to people's houses, I don't do an investigation. I'm there for removal. And this happens, unfortunately, a lot of times where the person have died and his wife that he loved so much in life is now wanting to date somebody else or get remarried. And the ghost husband is really pissed off. Okay. I don't know what to say. I just tell the person, hey, the ghost in the house is your ex, and he's upset, and you want me to get rid of him, or what do you want me to do? Okay. You get what I'm saying? Because, for one, you can only claim something in this world if you are a part of this world. There are rules. If you're not in our world, you can't claim anything in our world. For a ghost to try to claim something in this world is what is called possession. Okay. You cannot if you're dead, you cannot possess anything in our world. A person, an item, a house. You cannot. Yes.
No.
Okay. Because you are no longer a part of our world anymore. And if your wife wants to remarry, she has the right to. Okay. And what you need to do is go into the tunnel and let go. Okay. So that's the difference the only difference between a person who's alive and a person who has dead is that when you die, you have all the same emotions that you had when you was alive. When you die, you're supposed to go immediately into the light. Unfortunately, the average person takes several days to cross over because they want to say their goodbyes. And this is why when a person dies, you feel them and sense them for several days, because most people are going to take several days and say goodbye to everybody, and they want to see their relatives and whatever. And as long as they take a week or two, no longer. But my limit, I'm not saying this is the official rule. If you're still here 30 days after your funeral, then I'm going to help you to cross over. Okay. But you're supposed to cross immediately. Most people take a week or two or so before they decide to cross over. Okay. That's, I guess, is acceptable. If it's over 30 days, that's considered a problem. And the longer you stay, the more likelihood of you getting stuck on this side. And everything is clear. Nobody got any comments. Everything, we're just humming and whistling along. Excellent. So that is what happened. But as a ghost is stuck on their event. That lady who died in the car accident, she is stuck worrying about her kids. She's not interested in anything else except for her kids. She doesn't care about nothing else. She is focused only on that one thing. So let's talk about the old Soviet Union. Okay. See, when it comes to paranormal, the Russians are super far advanced than we are. Okay. The Russians knew about this a long time ago. So let's talk about what they tried to do after World War II. The Russians knew about these ghosts. And Russia had some people who was good at talking to ghosts. And Russia had this idea, hey, since ghosts are invisible and they can do things, why don't we try to recruit some ghosts to be spies for the USSR? That project didn't go over too well. Okay, to talk to this lady who's focused on her kids, why don't you go and see what those American... Oh, you're talking about an angry ghost. You're going to really have problems going there. That project definitely didn't work out good. Okay. This is how you get a ghost upset. And when a ghost become upset, that is when a ghost become what is called a poltergeist. A poltergeist is an angry ghost. Okay. So now we have defined what a ghost is. Now we have defined what a poltergeist is. And most ghosts are under something called the rules of coexistence. They know that they're in our world, but they are coexisting. So they try not to make any noise. That's the reason a lot of houses, this is the problem with having security systems in your house. Unless you're going to tell the ghost, okay? Because People that have all these cameras now, if you got ghosts in your house and you're watching your house at work, you're going to notice that door opening and closing and that chair moving and because you're not at home. The ghosts don't know you have a security system. Okay. It doesn't know. Okay. How most people find out they have a ghost in their house coexisting with them is because they were sick that one day with the cold, and the ghosts know your schedule. The ghosts know every morning you leave at 8 o'clock in the morning. And you're in your bedroom at 9:30, 10 o'clock, and the ghosts come in there and open the door, and the ghost is surprised that you're in the house. And you're surprised that the door opened by itself. Okay, yeah. You didn't tell the ghost you were sick and not taking the day off. Okay. Very scary. But normally, since ghosts coexist with you, when you're home, the ghost will be outside of your house or hide in a closet or whatever until you go to bed or leave the house, and then the ghosts come out. And you and the ghost are sharing the house or is sharing the apartment. And apartments have a lot of ghosts, or office buildings, because ghosts do not recognize apartments. Ghosts see apartments as a giant house. And people are just living in different rooms of the giant house. So a lot of apartment buildings have ghosts where the ghosts are just roaming the apartment building. Okay. And, they don't see it as, hey, this is my apartment. And when you want to cleanse your house or your apartment, what you're going to do is block your apartment off so the ghost needs to go around your place. And you can do that by using sage or salt or lots of ways. But ghosts, people are going to get mad when I say this, but ghosts are like roaches. There's probably millions or billions of ghosts in this world. Millions. They're everywhere. And there are photography equipment you can get to where you can photograph them. There are, let's talk something very scary. Okay. We all know today that film, before we had digital cameras, we all had film cameras. And we all know that film cameras was created so we can take pictures of ourselves. That is not true. Do you know why film was created? Because Thomas Edison, was trying to record pictures of ghosts and spirits. That's why they invented film. Did you know that? You believe that phonograph equipment was created so we could record music. Do you know Thomas Edison and Tesla and all these people a long time ago, why they created the phonograph and all this stuff? They was trying to record the voices of dead people. If you think I'm crazy, Google that and you won't sleep tonight. Okay. Remember, I'm here to tell you the truth, not the crazy stuff. So we took their invention that was made for that's the reason some of the best ghost photography was taken back when cameras first came out. Because that's what photography equipment was created for, to take pictures of dead people. And they took some fantastic pictures back in the 1800s. We can't duplicate that today. And the reason we can't, because now we coat the film. See, we see between the wavelength, between 400 and 700 a wavelength of light. So we coat the film to only see between 400 and 700. The old film, it saw everything, darling. It saw everything. Okay, and this is the problem. Let me tell you something else that's real scary. When digital cameras first came out, now digital cameras have something called a hot shoe on them to limit the light spectrum. So they only see between 400 and 700. When video cameras first came out, people were seeing a lot of things because there was no hot shoe. And people were saying, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. Okay. Look that up on Google and you won't sleep tonight. Okay. But they fixed those problems a long time ago. So now now your camera doesn't take pictures of ghosts anymore. It only take pictures of, so you can still buy filters, and sometimes you can get a picture of something. But back in the old days, it was very easy. Very easy. So we went over ghosts, we went over poltergeists, and as long as your ghosts are not angry, you should be able to coexist if you have ghosts in your house or not. The problem with poltergeists, they want you to know that they're there. So poltergeists are slamming doors, knocking things over. They want you to know that they're there because they're upset. And poltergeists, ghosts can get upset for, as I said, a lot of reasons. As I said, that lady who wants to remarry and the ghost husband is upset. You can buy that house that has a ghost in it, and the ghost like the house very dark. It have always been dark, and now the new person want to rip all the curtains down and let all the sunlight in, and the ghost like the house dark, and the ghost no. There can be a lot of reasons to make ghosts upset, but it's your house. If the ghost doesn't like it, you just need to contact me or someone else, and we solve that problem real fast. Okay. And that's what I tell my clients. They say, I don't know if I really believe in this. I say, miss, you don't need to believe in it or not. It's guaranteed. You just, I do my little thing, and the problem magically goes away. Okay. Isn't that amazing? So, we're still no questions or comments?
Okay, everybody. People are freaking me out.
Okay, but what is some of the comments they're making?
They're saying there's a dead guy behind.
Oh, excellent. We love dead guys. We love dead guys. Okay, and remember, as I told you before, you don't need a body in this world to be, there's a lot of colleges or churches which are haunted, and you attend them all the time. And the reason a lot of churches are haunted, especially Catholic churches, because they have relics inside of the church. Do you know what relics are? Pieces of dead bodies. Okay, and so churches have a lot of ghosts in them. And you attend them all the time, and I guess you don't mind. You go there all the time. Okay.
And explain to people, like, we go there and those things can attach to us, and that's how people can bring them back into their house.
Okay, most ghosts. Okay, a ghost is ghosts fall under three things. A ghost needs to be attached to something. The reason is because this world they live in, what is called this nether world place, is a kind of scary place. Because not everything in this nether world is a ghost. You have creatures that live in this world in between, which we call these midway creatures, shadow beings. You have all kind of weird looking creatures that live in there. And some of these creatures and spirits are in this world too. And some of these creatures try to imprison ghosts. So there's a lot of bad stuff in this world. Okay. And they make movies about this shadow world. That's the reason they make these movies about these people in these long trench coats, these all wearing leather, and it's always not dark or light. They're in this little, vampire world. They're trying to show you what this Twilight, we don't really know what this world looks like. Okay. But there is a scary world. So a ghost are always trying to look for a place to hide. Okay, so a ghost normally is tied to something. They tied to either a person, a place, or a thing. So if a ghost is tied to a house, and your house have a ghost, when you leave that house, you don't have the problem anymore. If a ghost is tied to a person, like I said, that lady, she got killed, and she's worried about her daughter. If her daughter moves to China, she will move to China with her daughter. That ghost will go everywhere her daughter goes because she's tied to the person. Sometimes a ghost is tied to an item. This is why, I hate to tell you this, people are going to get mad at me. You're not supposed to have urns in your house or burial boxes or things. Because those things, a lot of times a ghost if the person didn't cross over, they are attached to the urn or attached to that particular item. Mm-hmm. And if you keep moving and keep taking that item with you, your problem seems to move wherever you go. And sometimes, ghosts are normally attached to religious stuff a lot of times, or sometimes if you have those old family Bibles that, really old and okay, it can be, you just need to figure out what was, but a ghost is always attached to one of three things: a person, a place, or a thing. Okay. So, that's how ghosts are. And as long as your ghost is under the rules of coexistence, normally you don't have a problem. You only have a problem if your ghosts become angry and become what is called a poltergeist. But ghost is not a big problem, because a ghost is a person which have been unplugged. And once you've been unplugged, the person could be 300 pounds. Once you've been unplugged, you're just a little ball of energy. That's the reason people take these pictures where they see these little orbs floating around. That's all you are once you are unplugged. You're just a ball of energy. Okay. And everybody's good.
Yeah.
Excellent.
We're
okay.
good.
So, and you remember, if you got any questions,
yeah,
here's your big opportunity.
Yeah.
So, but as I said, so that is all we are. So ghosts are very limited on the power they can do. And for a ghost to move something in our world takes a lot of energy and effort for them to move something. If they want to move a chair or something, it's extremely hard for them to do that. But ghosts are semi-physical. Mm-hmm. And that's the reason why, ghosts, if you have ghosts in your house, they can... which they do in haunting houses sometimes. You can put powder on the floor or things like that, and they will leave tracks. They're semi-physical. Okay. You see what I'm saying? And that's why they show up a lot of time in cameras and things as a shadow. You don't see the person, but you see this shadow going down the hallway. And that's how most people see a ghost. Your peripheral vision out of the side of your eye is a little more powerful than your straight vision. So normally you will see a shadow off to your side, and you will turn and you see nothing. The way to check for a ghost is when you see something off to the side, turn back straight and look out the side of your eye. And if you can still see that shadow, you probably got something in your house. Uh-huh. Okay.
I had a friend who had a trash can in her house that had the lid that turned.
Okay.
And they would be sitting watching TV, and all of a sudden that trash can the lid would start spinning.
Okay.
So that...
And that's when you call me up and I get rid of the problem. Okay. But a lot of time... Oh, and then let's talk about another problem with ghosts, since we're on ghosts, before we go to spirits. I've been in a lot of houses. And people tell me, oh, that's the ghost of my mother who passed 10 years ago. That's the ghost of my brother. And I said, really? That's the ghost of your mother, really? Yes, but she's totally different now that she died. See, a person is a liar in life and they're a liar in death. You can't see ghosts. So when you ask this ghost, are you my dead brother? And the ghost go, yes, I'm your dead brother. You have to do the verification process. If that's really your dead brother, then you should be able to verify that it is your dead brother. It is your dead mother. And this is the reason a lot of times when people tell me who the ghost is, 80-90% of the time it's not that person. Because the ghost just lied. Okay. You get what I'm saying? So a lot of times you got to be very careful. You just can't believe people on the internet. You can't believe ghosts. You can't, the world is just, it's not hard to trust people. But if you got the ghost of your dead mother in your house, if it's your dead mother should know where she was born. And she should know. And a lot of times because if your mother was sick for a long time and then she passed away, and then a few days after she passed, you go into her room and that presence is there. And you sense her there. She just returned back to her room. Okay. She was happy in her room.
Okay, we have a question.
Yes.
Do you really have to call a medium to rid of spirits, or can you just sage?
Okay. Sage works on getting rid of bad energy and getting rid of some ghosts. The problem is you can clean to your light level. So it depends on what your light level is. If you got a very high light level, your light level 7 or 8 or something like that, that's great. But if you got a light level of 3 or 4, you're probably not going to get rid of much. Okay, but you can only clean to your light level. And what I tell people to do, to save them money, I sell people the sage and whatever, or tell them to use holy water they can get and do the house and do prayers. And if that doesn't work, then call me. Because I tell people I get rid of scary. If it's not scary, you can probably do it yourself. Let's talk about scary. Things touching you in bed. A lot of women complain about things touching them in bed. I have had women come up to me and say, I wake up in the morning and sometimes I'm wet down there. Okay. I had all kind of people. I have had people tell me, sometimes in the morning I'm taking a shower and I feel like someone's in the shower, somebody's touching me and someone's watching me. Okay. Now this goes all the way back to the Bible. Remember, the sons of God looked down upon looked down upon the earth and saw that the women of the earth was fair. What does that mean? It has a meaning. Fair means something. Fair means light skin with dark hair. That is what these creatures like. Now, we're getting into spirits, but this goes with a little bit of ghosts. Normally, when you have ghost problems, you have, sometimes you can have ghosts touching you at night. Normally, this is a spirit problem. But let's talk about what the spirit, since we crossed into this, we'll go back and then we'll talk about how it relates to ghosts. A lot of time, women will tell you about this, that since my husband died a few years ago, I still feel him in the bed with me at night. I still smell his cologne sometimes at night. Okay. So as long as you don't mind that, okay.
Okay.
When you do mind that is when you need to call somebody. Okay, yes.
Okay, there's a few things I want to read, but this is from Beverly. It says, Lynn, so what are the shadow people in the other world? Are they dead or imaginary?
Okay, shadow people are not ghosts, they're not spirits, they're these midway creatures. That reading, we're going to do a separate show on them.
On that, right?
There are beings that live in this world, in between this world of the spirit and the world of the living, in this world between the world of the, they live in that gap. There are some creatures that live there. Okay. And some of these creatures, unfortunately, don't, everybody likes to visit our side of the fence. They don't like it when we go to their side of the fence. They get very upset. And when you're trying to do seances and trying to talk to some dead people, they get very upset. That's what's wrong with doing these, if you're doing talking to dead people or whatever, you have to have friends down there. If you got friends down there, you can do anything you want. But if you don't have friends down there and you're doing EMPs and all kind of stuff, you'll start getting threatening messages and they're yelling at you and doing everything because they don't like you being on their side of the fence. But they love being on our side of the fence. So, shadow creatures and these other midway creatures, we're going to talk about that around 2 weeks from now. We're going to have a show about shadow creatures and midway creatures. Okay. But shadow creatures are not ghosts. They're not spirits. They're totally different. So, any other questions on ghosts before we get into...
Okay, and right now, someone's asking, how do you know your light level? And can you explain the light level?
Okay, a light level is... That's for a different show, too. Your light level... Okay, we was all born with a light level of 10. Your light level is equivalent to, like, your credit score. Okay. We was born, there is nobody that was born dark. We was all born with a light level of 10. And basically how you live your life, your light level varies. And most psychics can, some of them know how to check it. I know how to check it. But your light level depends on what they think. And that's the reason, and I'll give you an example of this before we go back to our regular subject. This is off topic, though. This is why in Reiki, when, the problem with Reiki is angels giving healing energy to the earth. Okay. So a Reiki person might be working on two different patients. On this one patient, when she needs healing energy, they're just burning her up. They're just giving her all kind of energy. And then she go to work on the other patient, and they just barely got the hose on at all. They don't want to give hardly no energy at all, because they give they give assistance based off of something called your net value, which your light level is a big part of that. And what they think of you upstairs is the more they're willing to help you or not help you. Okay, but that's the reason they help some people a lot more than they help others. But that's a totally different subject, and we're not talking about that tonight. And and if you want to check where your light level, you can contact me. You've got my contact information, and it's very inexpensive, and only take a few minutes, and I can tell you what your light level is. But let's get back to our subject or question. Do we have enough?
No.
Okay, excellent. So we have talked about ghosts, and ghosts are just dead people. Okay, and the ghosts are very limited in power. There is only one way that a ghost can become powerful. And that's what I'm saving for last. The only way a ghost can become powerful is a ghost trap other ghosts in a house. And a ghost, since we are a ball of energy, if a ghost imprison lots of ghosts into a house, it's like stacking batteries. And then a ghost can become extremely powerful. Okay. And this is what happens like in the movie Amityville Horror and whatever, where you have a ghost that are super powerful because he's trapping other ghosts and making himself have a lot of power. That is very rare, and you have to know what you're doing to get rid of those type of ghosts. But I'll tell you the secret. You never attack them in their full power. It's just like going after a gangster. You have to get rid of his little boys. And by getting rid of all the ghosts in the house, you weaken him until he's back down to no power. And then you get rid of the big one. Okay. But you got to know how to do that. But most ghosts don't know how to play that game. And they're just very limited in what they can do. Now, that's ghosts. A ghost is a dead person. We understood. Okay. Now let's go to the other side. Let's talk about spirits. Spirits was never a person. Spirits are spirit creatures. Spirit creatures have free will. And we are judged by our actions. Spirits are judged by their works. And spirits have good works or bad works. This goes all the way back to the Bible again. Remember. Okay. In the book of Enoch, it says the rule, which we also supposed to be going by. The rule dealing with them is this. The book of Enoch is written. The heavens was made for spirits. The earth is made for man. Spirits in heaven are considered good spirits. Spirits on the earth are considered bad spirits. They're not supposed to be here. Hello? Okay. This is why the word angel means messenger. Angels only supposed to be here if they're delivering a message. They're not supposed to be here for any other reason. So, if a spirit is earthbound, that means he's bad. Okay. Now, let's define bad. For a person to be in prison, you can go to prison for a lot of reasons. Writing bad checks, late on your child support, stabbing and killing somebody, doing a lot of things. Okay, you're all bad, but the degree of bad can be a million different things. So we are not into judging why a spirit creature is on the earth. Okay, that's not our job. The only thing we go by is this. Spirit creatures must be in the light 100 out of every 1,000 years. When they are considered bad or doing what they're not supposed to do, they are not allowed to access the light. What kind of light that is, I don't know. They are not allowed to access the light. And by them being not allowed to access the light, they will start to weaken and they will fall. And you don't want to fall on Jupiter, Saturn. There's nothing to play with. You want to fall on a place where there's lots of things to play with. And on the Earth, there's 7 billion things to play with. You can just have a lot of fun here. This is like Disney World. Okay. And we're going to go further. The Earth is controlled by 261 spiritual forces. As long as you can still fly or hop around, you can be independent. But once you can no longer fly, you must pledge allegiance to one of those forces. It's like a big mafia out there. Okay. So you can work, but you're still earthbound. Okay. But the Earth has been divided into territories. Okay. And that is the reason why when you get into Satanism, you're calling upon a certain beings or whatever and whatever. We're not going into that. That's too scary and that's beyond our thing. But spirit creatures need us for one reason and one reason only. In our world, since they're made out of subtle matter and we're made out of gross matter, they can't touch anything in our world. They can't. Now, they can be standing behind this table. They can be doing everything. But they can't touch nothing in our world. So, you do, as I said before, you do not need a body to go and take college courses. You don't need a body to go to Mass on Sunday. It's no fun not having a body if you're going to go to a topless bar. If you want to go on the freeway and drive 200 miles an hour. If you don't have a body, it's no fun. But they already got it figured out. They'll use your body for that. You get what I'm talking about? That is what spirit creatures want to do. That is the reason why they're willing to do you favors. Spirit creatures work off of two things. They work off of the old way or the new way. The old way, which I told you before, they worked for the spilling of blood. That's why in all religious texts, you had to do sacrifice before. And they could take the blood, like in the movie Hellraiser, and make a crude body. Today, a crude body does not work because we like seeing people. Okay, you can't have this crude body hiding in a cave somewhere. It's not working. So they want a good body. They want your body. So the new way spirits work is in exchange for favors. So if you want a new car, if you wanted this, if you want a boyfriend, if you want this or that, if you want that promotion at work, they will help you. And first, they want you to buy them roses, give them some liquor, pour out liquor, this and that, pray to them. But they keep upping the ante. And then they start talking crazy about we work good together. Wouldn't it be good if we could be together all time? Wouldn't it be good if we was one? And as soon as you say, yes, I think that would be good. The devil's not a liar. He's a deceiver. You just gave him permission to get inside of you. And I have met people that have 1, 2, 3 things inside of them. You got all these singers that's talking about when I'm on stage it's like I'm a different person. Okay, you get what I'm saying, don't you? Okay. I have this little boy in my mind that talks to me. Okay, he tells me what to do. Okay, a lot of people are possessed, unfortunately. Okay. And when I do readings on people and I ask them, what happened on this date this year? They will say, oh, that's the year I went to jail. And what happened in jail? Well, it was this one night. And all of a sudden, I don't know what happened, but they remember what happened. A lot of people do. They remember. Or they attended something. Or they did something. And they remember that after that, things were slightly different. So, spirit creatures, they are not ghosts. Ghosts have very limited power. Spirit creatures got a lot of power. It depends on what level of spirit creatures you're dealing with. If you're dealing with worker angels or guardian angels, they're the lowest. Above them, you have archangels or warrior. I mean, you have warrior angels or administrative angels. Then above them, you got archangels and you got administrative angels. And then you get into the higher ones of them. And, it depends on what's inside of you. But some of these things are super powerful. And they can control your life. Now, even now, the good thing about these things being inside of you, most of them, once they get inside of you, are still going to be under the rules of coexistence. They only want to control 50% of you. So you yourself, and people know this. That's the reason when I do readings on people, they say, when I drink, it's like I'm a different person. Okay. They know. Okay. They know. But they only control half of them. But not all spirits are under the rules of coexistence. Some of them want 100%. And what they will slowly do is push you out of your body and take you over. That is what The Exorcist was all about. They was trying to force that person out of their body. And the trick that they do to do that is they will get you to almost commit suicide or almost kill yourself or almost do this. And then it's like, I almost killed myself, but after that, I'm a totally different person now. I eat different food than I used to. I don't.
That's when like people are possessed.
No, because they're not. They're a different person.
Yeah, but I mean
because the old person, that's called a walk-in, and you just been totally taken over. Okay. And I have met people who know this, and they say, well, my son, before he got in that car accident, he was a totally different person. But after the car accident, he's like a totally different person. But then I take care of that problem, and he goes back to being the old way again. You get what I'm saying? You just need to know people that know how to do things. Now, I'm not the only one out there. You just need to look for something called a light worker. We talked about this before. Not everyone out there is doing light work. Okay. I'm not going to say nothing bad about these other people, but some people are doing other work, which is not light work. Okay. And they can get you whatever you want. And they will say, tell me what you want. You want a boyfriend? You want money? You want this and that? You want this? And they will help you to get it. That's not light work. Okay. That's called something else. Okay. And they can get you whatever you want, but it's going to cost you. And remember, you pay twice. Yeah. You pay the person who's getting you what you want, and you're paying the person downstairs who's getting it for you. Because that lady, or that reader, is just a broker. She's making the contract between you and that person downstairs. Okay. And if you want your boyfriend to come back, I can do that. And if you want that job promotion, I can do that too. Whatever you want, I can get it for you. That is not light work. Light work is about helping you to solve your problems. So and that's the difference between. So we're going to talk about the difference between. What you mean?
Like poltergeist?
Poltergeist is angry ghosts.
Okay, it's angry ghosts.
The difference we're talking now between the difference between an angel and a demon. Okay. An angel has to be heaven bound. They're the same creature. It's like a serial killer and a teacher is the same creature. Okay. You get what I'm saying? No one is bad 100% of the time. Okay. The only difference between an angel and a demon, a demon is earthbound, an angel is heaven-bound. They can do their work from upstairs. They do not, and I have met people whose guardian angel is in their bedroom helping them. And your guardian angel do not need to be in your bedroom watching you take showers and change clothes and getting in bed with you to help you in your life. I think that's called something else. Okay. And that's how they get kicked out from upstairs, from doing this extracurricular activity. You get what I'm saying? Okay, that's the reason they are denied access to the light, because they're doing things that you're not supposed to be doing. They can assist you with your problem. We was all born with a guardian angel. Your guardian angel can assist you from upstairs. They do not need to be in your bedroom to assist you. Okay. So, this is the problem that people have. And if you're dealing with angels, they should all be heaven-bound. Earthbound angels are earthbound because they're no longer heaven-bound. And if you deal with them, they need access to your physical body so they can do things. And the one thing they want to do is have fun. Okay. Because remember, you can't have no fun on this planet if you don't have a physical body. And they will use your body as a toy, and if you get broken or damaged, or they'll just go and get another toy to play with. Okay. So, we talked about angels and demons. We talked about, remember, so the only difference between an angel and a demon, these are spirit creatures. The difference between ghosts and poltergeist we talked about. We talked about what a spirit is. A spirit, and the reason spirits, there's a lot of different types of spirit creatures out there. A lot of different types. A lot of different types. So, and people think, well, spirit creatures, they're all the same. That's just like going out in the forest and say, animals, they're all the same. A squirrel, a mountain lion, a beaver, they're all the same. That's not true. Okay, you need to know the difference. Okay, and if you can't tell the difference between a dolphin and a shark, you're gonna get bit. Okay, one is friendly. The other one, well, he likes to play with his food before he eats it. Okay, we'll just say that. So we're doing good. Do we have any questions, or people are still? They're just biting their nails and everything. I never get a lot of questions. Okay, but this is my thing. My thing is to define things. My thing is not to make people happy or mad or whatever, say what's politically correct. I'm here to educate people. Remember, you need to know this stuff. And you can go to church forever. They're never going to explain this stuff to you because they don't want you to know. That is my job, to give you this information. So, your body is not supposed to be a hotel. You have a life, and you was given an opportunity to live your life. So at the end of your life, you're going to be judged for how you lived your life. You're not supposed to be a hotel and have 2 or 3 living guests living inside of you that controls you. And a lot of these people that are possessed, they will tell me. That's the reason they have problems, because they say, okay, I'm not drinking today. I got really wasted last night. I'm going to stay home. I need to spend some time with my kids. I haven't been home. And that voice in her head, come on, let's go. Come on, we need to. And after a while, there they go again. Because that spirit creature don't want you to stay home and sit on the couch and be with your kids. That's boring. He didn't get inside of you so you can stay home and watch TV with your kids. He want to go out and get drunk and party and yell and scream and get in fights. And he had a great time last night. You almost got arrested, but he had a great time. Okay. You need to be very careful. And if you are having these problems, you need to find someone who can help you. And the magic word is you need to find you a light worker. Or you can call me and people can help you. And if you want to find out, if you think you have problems in your house, if your kids are, and kids are very honest. They will say, Daddy, there's something in my room. Okay. You need to quit slapping him across the back of the head. You need to, if he told you that several times, maybe you need to look into that. Okay. Because when I was a kid, there was definitely something in my room. Okay. Definitely.